Welcome to the An English Coffee Office. Today is Thursday, January 22, and like every morning, David and Alex are at the coffee machine.
Morning, Alex. Please tell me this machine is actually working today.
Good morning, David. It is working, but the espresso light is blinking ominously.
I'll take the risk. I need a double shot to survive the 10 a.m. pipeline review.
Is the quarterly forecast looking that rough?
Let's just say the numbers are shy. Very shy. I need some high-octane caffeine to spin this positively.
Well, fingers crossed for you. I'm just waiting for my latte while I mentally prepare for a stakeholder meeting.
Sounds intense. By the way, speaking of intense, did you catch the Wall Street Journal piece yesterday?
The one about the tech sector?
No, the automotive one. The article about the solid-state battery breakthrough.
Oh, right. I saw the headline. Toyota finally announced the mass market launch, right?
Exactly. It is an absolute game changer. They are claiming a range of 900 miles on a single charge.
900 miles? That is impressive. That is basically driving from here to Chicago without stopping.
Right? And the best part is the charging time. They said it hits 80% capacity in just 10 minutes.
That solves the biggest bottleneck for EV adoption. Range anxiety is practically dead with those specs.
Totally dead. I am already calculating how much time I'd save on client visits. No more sitting at charging stations answering emails for 45 minutes.
It is going to disrupt the entire energy grid, though. If everyone switches to these in the next 5 years, demand will skyrocket.
True, but the article mentioned the batteries are lighter and safer too. No more fire risks like the lithium-ion ones.
Did they mention the price point? Usually, this new tech costs a fortune at launch.
That's the kicker. They are aiming for price parity with gas vehicles by 2027. I might actually hold off on buying a new car until then.
Smart move? It is fascinating how fast the infrastructure is having to adapt.
Speaking of infrastructure and adapting, did you see the New York Times article from Tuesday?
Which one? There was a lot going on Tuesday.
The one about the Arctic Trade Route Accord.
Oh yes, that was a fascinating read. I think 8 nations signed it, right?
Yeah, 8 of them. It is crazy to think the ice has melted enough to make that a standard shipping lane.
It is a bit of a double-edged sword. On one hand, it cuts shipping time from Asia to Europe by 40%.
40% is massive for margins. My logistics guys are going to lose their minds over the savings.
But on the other hand, the environmental implications are heavy. We are capitalizing on climate change to ship cheap electronics faster.
I know it is ironic, but from a business perspective, you can't ignore the efficiency. The article said it could reduce fuel costs by 30% per vessel.
That is true, and it changes the geopolitical map. Suddenly, those northern ports are going to become major economic hubs.
Exactly. Real estate up there is going to boom. I should probably look into buying some land in Greenland.
Don't get ahead of yourself, tycoon. There are still strict regulations on heavy fuel oil in the treaty.
Yeah, the article mentions strict fines for spills, which is fair. We don't need an oil slick in the Arctic.
It will be interesting to see how the insurance companies handle it. The risks are still higher than the Suez Canal.
Maybe, but no pirates in the Arctic. At least not yet.
Let's hope it stays that way. It feels like the world is shifting gears so fast this week.
Tell me about it. Did you see the report in USA Today about the schools?
The one about the 4-day school week?
Yes, that blew my mind.
It is becoming a national trend. The article said something like 35% of districts have adopted it?
Yeah, 35%. That is over a third of the country. I wish my sales targets were on a 4-day schedule.
Don't we all? But the data on teacher retention was compelling. Retention went up by 20% in those districts.
That makes sense. Burnout is real. If I had a 3-day weekend every week, I'd never leave this company.
But think about the parents. The article highlighted the childcare crisis it creates on Fridays.
Oh, for sure. If you work a standard 9 to 5, What do you do with the kids on Friday?
Exactly. It forces the corporate world to adapt. If schools aren't open, offices might have to offer more flexibility.
Or parents just go broke paying for Friday day camps?
The article mentioned that too. A lot of community centers are opening specifically for fifth day programs.
It is a whole new economy. But honestly, looking at the test scores, it seems worth it. They didn't drop, right?
No, they stayed stable or even improved slightly. It proves that burnout affects kids just as much as adults.
I believe it. My nephew is in high school and he looks more stressed than I do.
It is a different world. Between the Arctic shipping lanes and solid-state cars, the future is here.
And we are just here drinking questionable coffee.
Speaking of which, your coffee is ready.
Finally, liquid gold, or at least liquid bronze.
Don't set your expectations too high.
So, are you going to bring up the Arctic routes in your meeting?
I might. It impacts our supply chain timeline for Q3.
Smart. Always looking at the big picture.
That is the job.
Well, I better head back to my desk. I have 15 emails to answer before the pipeline review.
Good luck with the numbers.
Thanks. I'll need it. Maybe I'll pitch a 4-day work week to the boss while I'm at it.
Let me know how that goes. I'll be right behind you if he says yes.
Deal. Catch you at lunch, Alex.
Maybe. Depends on how long this stakeholder meeting drags on.
Fair enough. See ya.
Time to get to work. Don't forget to subscribe and practice your English every day. You'll see how it just keeps getting better and better. See you tomorrow. Hope you have a fantastic day.